Hello, friend. Good day. And I just wanted to let you know, hey, spoiler alert, you are the one for the job. So if you'd like to know more on why it is you're hired as your child's homeschooling teacher, stick around and let's find out. Welcome to the Confidence to Homeschool podcast with me, Kelsie Shalane. I'm a lover of all things Jesus, an exceptional wife to an exceptional husband, and a homeschooling mama of 4. Together, let's trade in those insecurities and questions of if you can homeschool for the confidence that homeschooling was the right decision for you. Through simple homeschooling techniques, growth in God, and small mindset shifts, we have the power to change generations and set our kids' hearts tuned to the Lord and a love of learning. So grab your lukewarm coffee, because who gets to drink it hot anyways, and let's shave off years of that how to homeschool learning curve. Hey friends, so as usual through my regular everyday conversations with some of my friends that are diving into the world of homeschooling and just thinking about where to begin and how it's going and all of that, because I have just a couple of friends starting homeschooling this year for the very first time, and I love that. I love that I get to be surrounded by those people so that I can help give them these little keys of first steps that they may or may not run into, but help them out. But I think one of the biggest things, I had a friend that debated homeschooling for 2 years, and now she is just really diving into it, and she's doing great, and she's seeing all of these areas where she's going to get to help her kids, and she is going to get to fill in these blanks that they had missing prior from public school. And I mean, we're taking it back a couple of years, and I think that she just is doing such a wonderful job understanding that that is okay. There is no way to continue to push her son forward that was struggling. There's no way for her to push him forward without going back in, filling in all of the blanks, even if that means we take a couple steps back by a couple of years. And I love that. She's doing great with acknowledging the mindsets of the fact that homeschooling is not school at home, that we get to do this at a pace that works best for us and for our children. Because, truly the absolute best thing that we can do for our kids is teach them how to learn and teach them how their brain learns. Because if you can teach them how their brain learns, there's nothing in this world that they cannot learn. And if you can give them the confidence to know how they learn and to know what they're great at, instead of trying to allow the world to transform them into who it is that they think that they should be, then you're already just so many steps ahead. So I really want to say to all of those mamas that are out there that are diving into your first school year, whether you're absolutely rocking it or you feel like you're struggling, or you are like, yes, this is exactly why I made the decision that I did to homeschool them, because I'm seeing all of these things that were blank spaces for them in my child's mind. I want to encourage you that you are doing a great job. I am so extremely proud of you. Even if it's hard right now, I know that you're going to stick through it, and you're doing a wonderful job either way. The first year, when you're trying to figure out how they learn and how their brains work, is truly one of the hardest. So if you just make your goal for year 1, this is my goal, is to figure out how their brain learns, then that's a great goal. That's a great place to start. That's a great place to be. And then step 2, making sure that you're making the mindset adjustment that school does not have to be home or school at home. It is allowed to be whatever you make it. One of the things I was talking about the other day with our professor at jiu-jitsu is she said, do you get the feeling that teachers do not like homeschooled kids? And we both were like, yeah, absolutely. I said, but to be fair, a lot of people will try homeschooling for 1 year. They'll get frustrated. They'll stop, and then they send their kids back a year behind. And so then they're frustrated because they now have to take this homeschooled student and try to catch them up, and it's just an absolute struggle. So I want to encourage you. The first year is the hardest. You're doing great. You're rocking it, Mama. You got this. And if you ever need any help, please feel free to reach out to me. I would love to be able to connect with you and just start helping you through some of these mindset shifts and hurdles and all of the things along the way, just to lift you up and lift your spirits. So that is it on that, and I wanted to dive into the topic that you are the one for the job. You are the one that God gave these children as parents to. He did not make a mistake whenever he chose you to be their mom and dad. Even in the circumstances of adoptions, I believe that there is absolutely no way that you have somebody in your life that wasn't meant to be in your life. Like, he gave you that baby for a reason. They landed in your household for a reason. So I think in all circumstances, you are the one for the job. You are the one that loves them enough to figure out how their brain works and what works best for them. And with your children that are biologically yours and your husband's, that's the case for me, and it may be the case for you as well. But I know that we do have some adoptive families, so I wanted to make sure to include them as well. But these children are great combinations of the talents between you and your husband. They're a lot of a mix between you and your husband. So when you're working on your relationship with your husband and you're working on your relationship with you, you're also going to be acknowledging and seeing and understanding different aspects of your children and why it is that they are the way that they are. And you get to break so many generational things just through that. If you have a part of you that makes you absolutely insane and you see it in your daughter, you get to work on you first, and then you get to go and help her work on it as well. And then hopefully that has ended. Either that, or you can continue to let it pass on. Totally up to you. Another point that I want to make, step 2-ish, if he brought you to it, he's going to bring you through it. If it is on your heart that this world is not what you want your child raised in, or the school systems are not where you want your child raised, and God has really told you to bring your babies home, and he has put the thought of homeschooling on your mind, then guess what? He's going to see you through it. Also, there's no way that he is going to ill-equip your child for the things that he has for them in life. It's just not an option. Now, I will say one of the things that I really hope that my heart says to each and every one of you listening is you have a million options in homeschooling. You can do this so many different ways. It is not a one-size-fits-all. There is a reason that God made every single one of us different. So you have so many options, but the school part is not optional. So you do have to choose and figure out what it is that is working. There is no just sitting aside and saying, oh, God's got it. He's going to get it all figured out for me. But when you are actually digging in the trenches, doing the work, all of the fun things that do come with homeschooling, all of the relationship building that comes with homeschooling, all of that, I will say that when you're doing your part, God's going to do his part. And there is no way he is going to ill-equip your child for the future that he has for them. He knows exactly what he has for them, even if it's using your hands and working on things and building houses, to being a technology major that does like these crazy awesome technological things. Or I have a girl that I know that her son builds Legos and makes like 6 figures a year for the corporate Lego company. Anything in this world at this point can be made into a job, and God's got so many different callings for our children that we can't even begin to understand. But I will tell you that He has a plan, and as long as you're doing your due diligence, you're not going to fail your children educational wise. Follow the nudges that you see God has put in their life. The last thing is teaching them how to learn. That's our job. I said it at the beginning. I want to reiterate it because that is the very most important thing that I can reiterate to you, is that it is our job to teach them how to learn, and nobody else is going to be able to do that the way that we can. We had these babies day one. We carried them from conception through life, and you've been teaching them their whole life. So there's absolutely no way possible that you are going to be unable to teach them. You've already done it. You've already taught them to walk. You've already taught them to crawl. You've already taught them to speak. You've already taught them all of these things in life. And all you're saying yes to with your first year of homeschooling and beyond, all you're saying yes to is, I commit to you to be your lifelong teacher. I commit to you to grow our relationship and continue to connect each day in order to help you be the wise person that God has created you to be. I commit to you that I'm going to instill the values that it is that God has put in my heart to put into your life. I commit to you to teach you about the Lord. That is it. Your commitment to them is, I know that God has set me up for exactly what it is that you know, or that you need, even if I don't know how, and I will commit my ways to the Lord. So that is it. That is why you are the one for the job, because God said so, and it's just short and sweet. And you know what? Any relatives that are throwing any hate at you, or anybody that has anything to say about it, you get to tell them, take it up with the one God Almighty, because He put it on my heart and He's going to see me through it. And I love you guys. I hope you have the absolute best day. I will put it in the comments on how to get a hold of me if you would like any coaching on how to take your homeschool to the next level. Have the best day. Hey friend, thanks again for joining me today on your journey to the confidence to homeschool. I hope this podcast blessed you with one more tool of success. If it did, please scroll down to the bottom of your screen and leave me a review. Share it with a friend. Just remember, confidence in anything takes practice, so let's grow.